Hey boys and girls, welcome to Season 2, Episode number 3 of Bosryers at the Wildt. And this episode is proudly brought to you by Shield. Please join our Facebook group and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And in this episode, we say goodbye to the founder of Bosryers, Grys Dempers, where all of you know him as a legendary driver of Grysbeer.
Hi guys, so this is the Bosryers on our next adventure. Currently we are standing here by Gertse Klip, one of the most famous obstacles here by the Wildt. And we have something in store for you today. This is our first birthday bash, so enjoy this episode with us.
The Wildt 4x4 game park and resort is situated between Pretoria North, Hartbeespoort and Brits and is designed for the 4x4 enthusiast. The Wildt has abundant wildlife in a rugged mountainous terrain. There are 3 hiking trails and a catch and release dam, as well as accommodation. We would just like to give a huge thank you to Shield. While everyone got together early in the morning to decorate their vehicles for this beautiful birthday bash drive, Shield sponsored 2 of our vehicles with light shields, mini shields and bonnet shields. When all the decorations was done and the drivers were ready, we started the day off with our group meeting. Let's meet the drivers. First we have Lawrence with his 94 Colt, Crazy Chris with his white Hilux, Kobus with his Dakar Hilux, Grys with Grysbeer, Rian with Playgirl, Marius with his Ford Ranger, Jan with his Fortuner, Peter with Lowlux, and then myself, Etienne, with Baby Hulk.
Alright julle, so ons het nou die karre bestudeer, Glennis. Sy is ons judge, so sy gaan vir ons sê wie tweede plek en wie eerste plek by die decorations op die karre.
Moet ek redes gee?
As jy wil, is dit welkom. Alright, tweede plek.
Tweede plek gaan in Kobus. Jy capture regtig dat dit verjaarsdag is. Ek voel soos 'n kind as ek vir jou bak kyk. Baie geluk.
Baie dankie.
En
Yay! Sy Grys. Kobus is self nog 'n kind. Baie geluk. Baie dankie. Dankie julle. Hoi man. Ek wil net sê hy het 'n socket stel gekry van Gerard Libbe van GD Diesel Injection Services.
eerste plek is Lowlux. As jy mooi gaan kyk op Lowlux, is daar soos 'n banner van al die voertuie wat oor die jaar gery het. Wat spesiaal is regtig aan die Bosryers en dis nog baie na mense hart. Dankie man.
Dankie Pieter. Hallo Pieter, hy kry 'n stelletjie spotlights van Rikstop Jeep in Stilfontein.
Baie nice, dankie.
Dankie Pieter, dankie julle.
Dankie julle. Kom ons gaan geniet die dag.
Ons is by die eerste obstacle, is 'n lekker muddy slide hole. So kom ons kyk hoe vorder ons. Jy sien, dit was nie te rooi geweest nie, maar nog steeds lekker. Ons is by die volgende obstacle. Dis 'n lekker styl optrane met 'n relatiewe diep axle twisting gate. Ek vat hom maar eers so stadig as moontlik om te kyk hoe vorder ek met 'n crawling formaat. Ek dink nie ek doen te sleg nie, veral vir die feit dat dit laas al gereën het. Doen ek nogal heel gemaklik. Heel happy met my performance. Awesome. Dis eintlik heel cozy. Soos 'n bootrit.
Baie maklik.
And Grys coming in with Grysbeer, showing us the correct line to take on this specific obstacle for huge wheel lifting, and this is how a legend does it. Rian coming in with Plagal, taking the same line as Grijsbeer did. And with that short wheel base, the wheel lifting is not so much. But on this axle twister, you can also see how the newly fitted diff lock really does make a difference on his vehicle. And as always, Peter with Lowlux does not disappoint in taking the most difficult line as possible. However, with the huge capabilities and wheel flex of Lowlux, this obstacle is not a huge challenge for him. And Crazy Chris coming in with his son Armand behind the steering wheel. After that nice wheel lift, the momentum dropped down. Then Armand had a little bit of a tail slide to get the rest of this obstacle through. On the very first episode of Bosryers, Marius bottomed out on this specific obstacle. Coming back for round number 2, Marius was victorious on this personal challenge. Well done, Marius! And Chris does not disappoint in giving all the bystanders a show on this obstacle.
Daar is hy, lekker man.
And Lorenz also wasting no time whatsoever to get through this obstacle.
Right guys, so since I managed to get the whole Bosryers team lost twice, Jan with the white Fortuner decided he's taking the lead since he knows the Wildt much better than what I apparently do. So great stuff, we won't get lost again.
And Jan taking this obstacle like a boss. Since he's in front, he is the boss. Even though this obstacle is quite little, do not underestimate it. As the ground was with the rain we had the previous night, it was a level 3 obstacle, and when this obstacle is dry, it becomes a level 4. Look at how the various vehicles does this differently. From traction control to diff lock to open diffs, you can see quite a difference. And Jan takes this 5th obstacle quite cautiously as he goes down on this axle twister. Just look at that nice wheel lift.
Right guys, so we came across obstacle number 5 of the track, and this is huge axle twisting where we definitely are going to have a few vehicles that is lifting up some wheels, and this is actually quite awesome.
Keeping in mind that basically the whole track today is not as difficult as usual because of the little bit of rain we had the previous night, compressing the ground together, creating a lot more traction. When this obstacle is completely dry, it's at maximum difficulty, and it's not so easy when you do not have either diff lock or traction control. So if you don't feel like taking this obstacle, there is definitely some bypass routes that you can make use of. And as we all know by now, Zacharias loves it so much to lift the wheels of Grijsbeer that he takes the most extreme line again on this obstacle to get the biggest wheel lift possible. And Lorenz also enjoying this monster of a rig on this axle twister. And Peter coming in next on this obstacle with Lowlux. I'm not sure what is he showing off more, The awesome flex on this awesome vehicle, or is it the beautiful decorations of the Bosryers' first birthday bash? And Kobus, being a sport, joining us for the first time on a Bosryers adventure with his white Dakar Hilux, joining in the birthday celebration with his decorated vehicle. And we loved this obstacle so much that we decided as a team that we're going to do the same obstacle in reverse again. Jan taking this obstacle first with his Fortuner that is perfectly set up for overlanding and touring.
Kijk, so ons het nou besluit, hierdie obstakel wat ons so afgekom het, vat ons ook nou weer terug op. Want het lyk net asof het 'n lekker axle twisting challenge is, wat lekker mooi wiele optel en daai klas van dinge wat 'n man se hart laat chocolates kom. So, kom ons kyk hoe gaan dit. So hier aan die einde. Ja. Daai was beautiful. Ek kan nie wag om die footage te sien nie.
Now let's see what crazy lines Grys will take with Grysbeer on this obstacle while enjoying his classical vibes inside the vehicle. Hey guys, look at that crazy wheel lift at the end of this obstacle. Well done, Grys. And Chris also not disappointing on the show he gives the viewers. Thank you, Chris. And Kobus starting this obstacle unfortunately in the wrong gear. However, just taking a small rollback and wheeling this obstacle out to the end. Rian and Marty coming in on this obstacle with Playgirl taking this axle twister without a diff lock. At the end getting a little stuck, roll back, slight line change and making it out without any hassles.
Right guys, so we're at the G-string dry now, and I've got no idea what to expect on the rest of this obstacle course. It's my first time here, but it's beautiful and it's fun.
And as you have noticed, G-string dry is not a difficult obstacle. However, sometimes 4x4ing is not about the difficult obstacles, but also about the beautiful scenery that you can appreciate of Mother Nature. As each driver chooses a different line, you can also see that the drivers also enjoy their own ride in their own 4x4 vehicle, and that is absolute key to having a successful day. And then we arrived at Gertse Klip. Now Gertse Klip is one of the most famous attractions of the Wildt 4x4. When this obstacle is dry, it's difficult. You don't have a lot of grip, you don't have a lot of traction. But however, when this obstacle is wet, this is one slippery situation. And Jan taking it first with his Fortuner, doing quite well with his amount of experience.
Alright guys, we are taking Gertse Klip now. This is very slippery, quite steep uphill. Not that difficult, but actually very nice.
Easier than I expected. dink daar is gate hier waar ek trap hoor.
Okay guys, so you're taking Gert's clip down quite cautiously. It's slippery, very deep dongas, so we don't want to mess up anything. But you're doing quite okay, I think. Good stress.
And next up we have Grijsbeer with Sagrijs behind the steering wheel, coming halfway up this steep uphill, and you can see how Grijsbeer is fighting for grip. And next up we have a fearless driver called Lawrence coming in with his Colt, and as you can hear, the power of that Colt motor is just doing justice on this obstacle. And this is Chris coming in with his Hilux, little bit of a different lane choice, coming in quite cautiously, not using momentum, and almost struggling at the end, spinning quite nicely out. Well done, Chris. And this is Rian and Marty Maritz taking on Gert's clip with a short wheelbase Mahindra Thar. And Rian is raising my eyebrows as he is fighting for traction in the middle of this obstacle.
Kijk eens, zie je het gemaakt?
And this is Kobus taking Gert's clip with his Hilux. As you can see, the traction control really works in his favor as he grips here and there like he's meant to go to the top. And next up taking Gert's clip is Marius all the way from Randfontein, taking his Ford Ranger up this obstacle. Funny enough, last year when we were here with our first episode, all of us looked at this obstacle and decided there's no way that we're taking this difficult obstacle. However, a year later, after building up so much experience at various 4x4 tracks, we actually realized that Gert's clip is not as difficult as we originally thought. All the drivers took their vehicles up and down on this Klip obstacle. However, Marius had a little bit of ground clearance issue, and at the end, on the way down, he did scrape his tow bar down at the bottom. And following after Marius, we have Peter with the famous Lowlux, huge ground clearance, 33-inch tires, powerful Toyota engine, taking this obstacle quite comfortably. Guys, if you have never been to the Wildt before, you need to make it a priority on your bucket list. The Wildt is neat and clean with proper ablution blocks, braai area and accommodation.
Alright guys, so if you go way back to our very first Bosryers episode ever, right at the end you will see there's one specific obstacle that only one vehicle made out. Now this obstacle where we are now is exactly that obstacle. Now on that day specifically, this obstacle was extremely loose and dry. There was no traction whatsoever. So now with the rain that we had last night, this obstacle is obviously more tight, so grip is easy. So that's how the obstacle is supposed to be done.
And to talk about the 4x4 track, there is easy and difficult obstacles, meaning beginners and experts can enjoy this 4x4 track.
So guys, here we are at the downhill axle twisting, almost like a river crossing at the bottom. This is just like the Sunday cruise. Nothing major, just nice. Right, so the last obstacle we took down, we decided to take it back up again. So we came across a little mud hole. I think this is quite exciting, to be honest. Second mud hole for the day actually, but this one looks quite intimidating.
With a solid base, this mud hole obstacle provided us with a lot of fun and awoke all the children in the garage. everyone just enjoyed this muddle as if it's a playpen. Coming in, going out, various directions, coming in from the side, going in the wrong way around, coming in backwards, and so forth. So this is one of the playpen areas through the mud section that you can just enjoy for hours.
Alright, after we've seen some of the other drivers taking this obstacle the wrong way around, we decided we're going to do that as well. It's just flippin' epic. Whoa!
And then of course, even though Marius did not want to damage anything on his vehicle, he still could not resist playing in the mud as well.
Onthou as jy voor jou daai brandjies aan met jou peper.
And Cobus, being the sport he is, trying to take this obstacle on the side out. However, the slippery obstacle did win this challenge.
Was die dag vir julle?
Lekker.
Wie sou julle sê?
Wys my 'n 4x4 trip met soveel mense saam wat dit nie lekker is.
Ja, ek wil net sê Caroline span ry nou julle baie dankie. Hulle is nie net ons hoofborg vir die dag nie, hulle het nog gesorg vir die kos en vir die drinkgoed en so meer. So ons sê vir julle baie dankie. Julle maak ons dag vir ons baie lekker en gemaklik. En dit is ons fees om julle by ons te hê. Dankie julle. Groot waardering.
Ek is jy reg. Ek hou van pink. Pink is my kleur. Wat?
Ah, okay, lees maar dan.
Wat is 'n brand nie man?
Bra vir Etienne.
We would like to thank Wonder Shield, who not only provided us with lunch, but also entertaining us with a spot prize giving. Thank you, Wonder Shield. After lunch, we got together on top of the mountain and enjoyed this beautiful scenery from the viewpoint. While everyone doubted this next mud hole, Peter with Lowlux decided, let's take it and see how deep it is. And to our surprise, it was actually quite deep, that huge 33-inch tires that got completely submerged underwater.
Alright guys, so this is by far the deepest mud hole that I've ever attempted. I'm not wearing my safety belt for a reason, you shouldn't either. For in case if something goes wrong, and it might happen that we go underwater, we don't want to struggle to get out.
This trio just started off as a mockery, and before you know it, all three vehicles going together like in a race through this mud hole. As we went deeper into this mud hole, it became all narrower and narrower, so meaning all the vehicles couldn't reach their end together, and we had to give each other space. But after all, I think it was done extremely nice. Rian being extremely excited, taking this muddle with a bit of momentum, almost forgetting that he still needs to drive this Mahindra back home. And Marius, having the lowest vehicle of the day, still decided to take this mud hole obstacle and completely submerged his headlights underwater. And Lawrence just could not resist round number 2 through this mud hole.
Kyk ons eerste verjaarsdag badge.
And this is Peter entertaining us with some 4-wheel drive donut action, while the fan belt has got a huge muddy complaint. Almost coming to the end of the day, we came across the ice cream challenge, being one of the most difficult challenges on this track today. Now, ice cream is a level 5 obstacle going down. First of all, it is quite slippery, and secondly, it's got huge rocks that is completely sump and diff breakers. The secret to this obstacle is, first of all, you take it slowly. Secondly, you take it steady. And thirdly, you need to negotiate your lines correctly. And lastly, what makes this obstacle extremely difficult is the fact that you cannot see where your wheels are going. Peter, being the furious warrior of the team, he takes this ice cream obstacle first.
Draai passenger. I'll say nature, perfect. Net op jou is. Nou terug na my toe, na my toe, na my toe. Daar sy hom net so, Net klein bietjie na my toe nog na my toe. Yes, net so. Hou hom reguit net so. Ja, kom terug na my toe, nog nie. Ja, gaan net reguit. Perfek reguit, net so dit is. En dan gaan hy nou as hy afgeklip en dan kan ons draai. Nog nie, net reguit. Oké, we gaan draai. Reg.
Lekker my oom.
Hatsai man, lekker.
Overall, the track here by the Wildt was much easier because of the rain we had the previous night. However, on this ice cream obstacle, the rain actually made it a little bit more difficult, as now it was muddy, slippery and sliding. As I'm coming down with my vehicle, my focus is completely fixed on Peter, who gave me lines. Thank you very much, Peter, for your assistance.
Ons nie verstadig nie, hoor. Nou links daar so, nee.
And as I reached the last part of this obstacle, there was only one thing that went through my mind. Ice cream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. And lastly on this ice cream obstacle, we had Kobus coming in with the Dakar Hilux. With his vehicle being quite low, all of us made sure that there's no way that he can bump his sump or his diff on a rock. One of the things that makes this obstacle extremely difficult is as you are going down on a 32-degree slope, you also need to snake through the rocks to prevent any damage, and that gives you a huge off-camber section on your vehicle. However, Kobus, taking it quite cautiously, taking it quite slow, really did this obstacle extremely well. Well done, Kobus.
Ja, jou lyn is reg. Okay, baie skerp van my kant. Okay. Hy kan nou amper voel asof hy nou begin oortuimel. Okay, klein bietjie nou drywer, klein bietjie drywer. Net so, net so. Nog 'n bietjie. So. Okay, dan gaan regs draai. Draai regs. Trek jou hand op snyder.
Gaan links.
Well done!
And as we drove along, we came across this handsome guy watching the show.
Alright, so we came across a new obstacle. I don't think this one has got a name yet, but it's basically parallel to the ice cream obstacle. Also level 5 going uphill. Extremely loose rocks. Absolutely no traction. We are bouncing all over the place. And we got stuck right at the bottom already. Let's try again. I've got no traction at all to even start moving.
All I can say about this obstacle, thank you to my bush mechanic friends who helped me get out of this situation. With the rain that fell the previous night, this obstacle just did not allow us to have any traction whatsoever. So this obstacle was unfortunately a very big no-no for all of us.
Right guys, so on this obstacle, as you can see, this is literally mud, so there was no traction at all. We tried, Peter made it almost a third. Well, I got stuck on the entrance, but I don't think we're gonna make it today. We need to come back when it's dry.
And as we drove to the last obstacle of the day, we saw this extremely beautiful eland. And to our surprise, the dash cam of Grijsbeer caught this beautiful eland jumping over the road. That is one awesome scene.
Right, so on this new obstacle that they found, I went a little bit too far to the left, off camber. So now the problem is I slide it a bit, and now I can't get myself back into the actual track. It keeps on sliding back. To recover myself is extremely technical. I'm actually supporting on the roof here to make sure I don't fall on Glennis. But we're out of that situation, so now it's the rest of the obstacle. Last bit of the track, so I can damage the bucky on the tree. Luckily I cleared that. Well done.
And this last obstacle of the day is so off-camber that you can actually see how Grijsbeer is sliding off from the track. And now the last thing to do is to avoid the tree at the end, and yes, well done, he goes through no hassles whatsoever. And Chris also doing very well, avoiding that tree while also negotiating his lines between the tree and the huge rocks.
Nou afklip. That's it. Yes. Cheers, man.
It's a new seat.
And with the big wheels on Lowlux, well, who needs lines? Just go over the damn rocks.
Gaan net so langsom verby. Hy gaan so langs. Hy net straight, ja.
And this obstacle was no challenge whatsoever for Marius, as he chose an excellent line. The off-camberness of this obstacle did give Rian a bit of a hard time. However, Werner, the producer, really did an awesome job in giving him some direction.
Daai kant toe, nee. That's it. Draai, draai, draai. That's it.
And Kobus also coming in on this last obstacle, negotiating his way through the rocks and the tree quite nicely. However, keeping his line a little bit too far to the left, resulting in an awkward and dangerous situation with the slippery and off-camber section of the track.
Wow. Daar's 'n moeklip daarso. Wag. Gaan hy klim? So baie boom is reg agter jou nou, né? Hou stoot, ek gaan kom.
Ek kom as jy 'n meter en 'n half wat jy kan reverse.
Jy sal fyn wees vandag, gaan vorentoe. Hy is nou nog 'n klip.
Laat ek vir die klip skuif.
Byt dit vas.
Dis 'n groot klipie aan hier voor die. Oeps. Ja.
With the assistance of the bush mechanics removing some rocks and giving solid advice, Kobus struggling with traction but made it to the end.
Maar nie te veel nie. As jy bo op die trappie is, moenie verder gaan nie.
Don't be there.
Half meter terug en dan hou jy momentum. Net dan. As jy gaan, hou jy momentum.
Draai regs.
Right guys, so that's a wrap from the Bosryers for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. After all, this was our birthday bash and I'm actually surprised that we still have some decoration on the vehicles after we had this awesome bush day. I would really appreciate it if you can subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and please share it with your friends. Thank you very much. Alright guys, so we are the Bosryers, and we would like to invite you to join us with your 4x4 vehicle on our next expedition. So make contact with me, and we'll see you on the next one.
Stay tuned for scenes from our next episode at Mugatle. And a little blooper or two.
Ek bietjie gaan. Okay. Stop hom, ek begin hom weer.
En ek wil vir almal hier so sê baie dankie julle. Dit was regtig 'n lekker dag saam met julle almal. En ons kan gerus weer so maak.
Middag, ek is Willem Lemkoel van die Bosryers en ek wil graag namens die Bosryers net vir julle sê, is 'n droewige dag. Ons neem afskeid van Zacharias Dempers. Hy's 'n legende in die Bosryers, hy's die stigter daarvan. En ja, hy sal altyd deel wees van die Bosryers en ons glo die Bosryers sal net groei en sterker word. En ons sal altyd elke geleentheid sal ons onthou. Hy was die stigter en hy's die man wat die ding begin het. En dan wil ek net namens die Bosryers vir die familie sê, sterkte. Mag die Here saam met julle wees. Mag julle die troos ontvang. En ons dank en ons loof die Here vir 'n vriend wat ons kon ken en vir die tyd wat hy geleen was aan ons. En ons gaan almal hom mis. Sterkte vir julle.
Dankie.
Ry hier in die bosveld en die vuurtjie brand te mooi. Die son gesig oor die rots en klippe en natuur wat ons uitnooi. Ons ry waar ander net kan droom en die son sak in die bos. Ons Bosryers het modderbloed en ons kry jou in die bos.